Hello everyone! So today I'm here to do the mid-year book freakout tag. Woo! I'm not gonna lie, I did a quarterly wrap-up thing a month ago, 2 months ago, 3 months, I don't know, a little while ago, and not much has changed since then because I have barely been reading. And when I do read, it doesn't seem to be that great. So, anyways, have the questions here, so let's just get on into it. You guys know how this tag works. I do it every year. Alright, so the best book of 2022 so far. I've already talked about these two in my quarterly, but I do have another book to add to it, so it's okay. Favorite books that I've read so far this year are definitely Bullet Train and Rabbits. So Bullet Train, you guys have heard me talk about so much. I feel like it's just become the book. It's like every video I hold this book up. Bullet Train, it's a extremely fun, campy, ridiculous, crazy Japanese thriller. I'm super excited to go see the movie. It looks trash, so I'm going to do a video about it. Basically we follow a bunch of different characters who are all on this train, all kind of trying to perform crimes and how they kind of get in each other's way. So we have a man who is on the train to kill a young boy. We have a man who is on the train trying to steal a suitcase full of money, and then we have two men who are assassins who have just rescued a very high up guy in the mob's son from a gangster, and they're all just trying to get to the end of this train, and things go wrong. It's so fun, but it's also so good and so well written. Highly recommend it. You guys have heard me talk about this enough. And then we, of course, have Rabbits. This is by Terry Miles, and this is a sci-fi, I guess, that basically there is a game within the world, like our normal world. It's basically kind of like conspiracy theories, where people come up with ways to get into this game and find this game by finding patterns and stuff. And we follow a man who is kind of playing the game, or at least trying to. And if you play this game, and if you win the game, you get a bunch of money and stuff. So yeah, I love this so much. It made me feel like I was going insane because you kind of feel like you're playing Rabbits while you're reading Rabbits. It's a lot. But my addition to those two books for my best books of the year so far, very different vibe. Kidnapped by the Pirate by Kira Andrews. So again, I've been reading a ton of romance just like everyone else, but I wanted to start picking up some queer romances, and for some reason sapphic romances are always closed doors, cute romances. I'm like, no, I want steam. So I started picking up some male romances. And this one just really caught my eye because how could that not catch your eye? It's so stupid. It's such a bad cover. I wish it had a better cover, but it really caught my eye, and it cured my depression. Gay pirates. Literally, that's all you need to cure your depression. Listen to me. I'm a professional. Now, basically, this is a absolutely ridiculous queer romance about a boy who is captured by a pirate and the pirate in question. It was amazing. It was, the most fun I've had reading this entire year, which is definitely why it is so high up on my, books of the year so far, just because of simply how much fun I had reading it. If you just need something quick and fun and stupid, check it out. And also, the writing isn't that bad. I feel like a lot of queer romances, or romances that are this kind of ridiculous, the writing is always really bad, but this was genuinely a solid book. Especially if this was a fan fiction or something, I would read this 100 times. Love it. It's so good. Such a fun read. Next up is Best Sequel. I do not think I've read a sequel this year because I do not read series. Oh, I think I read Heartstopper Volume 4 up there. Obviously, those are all amazing, but yeah, I really don't read series or sequels, so. New release you haven't read yet but want to. I think I'm going to go with these two. Alright, this one isn't actually from 2022, but it was translated and published in English in 2022. So that is Scattered All Over the Earth by Yoko Tawada. Really excited to read this. So, Japanese literature. Again, it was published originally in 2018, but it's a new release in America. So, this one. As well as My Killer Vacation by Tessa Bailey. I just got this, and I'm so excited to read it. I really want to read it this summer because it feels like it's going to be a perfect, summer mystery romance book. So, really excited. Most anticipated books for the second half of the year. So, first up, I have Upgrade by Blake Crouch. I love Blake Crouch. I have read all of his books so far, and I've loved every single one of them. So, Definitely Upgrade. And then What Moves the Dead by T. Kingfisher. I'm so excited for this book. Oh, it's like Follow the House of Usher. And it's T. Kingfisher. It's gonna be so good. And then I also have Nona the Ninth by Tamsin Muir. This will be the third book in the Gideon the Ninth series. This is like the only series that I still keep up with. And it's also like fantasy sci-fi. Who is she? But like I love these books so much. So Nona the Ninth. Biggest disappointment. My first one is In a Garden Burning Gold by Rory Power. This is actually one that I got an ARC for. I got an e-ARC from NetGalley and I had to DNF it. I could not stand it. I just can't read fantasy anymore. It's just all exactly the same to me. And this was a huge disappointment because I've loved everything else by Rory Power so far, including Wilder Girls and Burn Our Bodies Down. This was a huge disappointment, but again, this was more of a me thing than an actual book thing. I just cannot read fantasy anymore. I Kissed Shara Wheeler by Casey McQuiston. I was so excited for this. I don't know why I even bothered considering it's YA, and I cannot stand reading YA anymore. It was awful. It wasn't even good for a YA book, in my personal opinion. This was extremely John Green 2012 to me. Just manic pixie dream girl. I'm not like other girls romance. And, oh, I'm so quirky and like listen to our banter for 20 pages. Like, I just can't. I could not stand this book. The biggest surprise, I am going to actually go with a manga series, and that is The Promised Neverland by Kaiju Shirai and Posuka Demuzi. This is one that I had absolutely no interest in. I've been recommended it so many times because it's obviously a Peter Pan retelling, and I just had absolutely no interest in it. I just, like, looking at it, I was just like, I'm not going to like that. And then I read it with absolutely no expectations, and I absolutely loved it. So I am so excited to continue it. So yeah, this was definitely the biggest surprise because I had actively not wanted to read this for a very long time, and I just picked it up because it's Peter Pan. So I finally read it, and it was amazing. I loved it. Alright, next question is a new favorite author. Mine's definitely Tessa Bailey. I have absolutely binge read all of her books since the beginning of this year, and I have loved every single one. Sorry, I have one more that I need to read. But yeah, Fix Her Up, amazing. Love Her or Lose Her was not my favorite. I think I gave this only like 3 stars, but Tools of Engagement is the one I still need to read. Window Shopping, loved it, 5 stars. It Happened One Summer, amazing, 5 stars. Hook, Line, and Sinker wasn't my favorite, but it has all of the tropes I really don't like. I hate friends to lovers. And like, it just was very first world problems to me, and I wasn't a huge fan, but I still gave it 3 stars because the writing was amazing. And then I also have Our Killer Vacation that I mentioned. So yeah, definitely Tessa Bailey. Definitely my new favorite author. Newest fictional crush? None. I don't really get fictional crushes. Newest favorite character is definitely Satoshi, or the prince from Bullet Train. Oh, he's so awful and manipulative and fucked up. Loved it. Amazing. A book that made you cry. Ooh, I'm gonna actually go with Bridge to Terabithia. This was a reread for me, obviously. We read it with my 5th graders, and it's so sad every single time you read it. So, I don't think I actually cried, but like, if I had to pick a book that was sad that I read this year, definitely Bridge to Terabithia. A book that made you happy, Kidnapped by a Pirate, obviously. Absolutely amazing. Next up is the most beautiful book you've bought this year, and definitely this edition of Middlemarch by George Eliot. Obviously, this was my favorite book of last year. So when I saw this gorgeous edition of it in a bookstore in Nashville, I had to pick it up. And finally, books that you want to read by the end of the year. I mentioned this in my like currently reading like updatey kind of video, but I really don't. I hate how when I get back into BookTube, it really does affect my reading and my enjoyment of reading. So I really don't want to put any expectations on myself for the rest of the year. I want to stop putting expectations on my reading at all, to be completely honest. It's why this year was my first year ever doing one book for my reading challenge. So I really don't have any like, oh, I have to get to this by the end of the year. I just want to read what I want to read at that time, and that's it. That's all I care about. But the one book that I really, really do want to work into my reading at some point this year is Jonathan Strange and Mr. Norrell. I read Pure Nessie last year, and it was one of my favorite books of the entire year. I'm absolutely obsessed with it. I'm obsessed with her writing. And I'm hoping this is just as good because then I have this beautiful long book to enjoy. So this is the only one that I'm like, I really want to read it this year because I know if I don't, it's going to become one of those books that just sits on my TBR and I never read it. So this is the only one that I just really want to read this year. Alright, and that is the mid-year book freakout book tag. I hope you guys all enjoyed this video. Definitely answer the questions down in the comments below and tell me what you guys have been enjoying this, like the first half of this year, but also what you're looking forward to for the rest of the year. Anyways, I love y'all and I'll see y'all soon. Bye!